Guys, if you know me by now, you know that I'm not a quitter. I've had so many inboxes of people saying, John, are you actually going to do this? Are you going to, as an IT geek, commit and get this engine swapped? And I'm thinking, well, why wouldn't I? I'm already 70% the way there. I'm just waiting for a part. And if you're not up to date, go and check out the last 2 episodes.
Because in the last 2 episodes, we got the 2-litre TDI engine from the Leon. Now, Seat Leon was a donor car, and basically anything from a 1.6 to a 2-litre TDI or a VW, majority of them are the same depending on the year. So we got it out, and the Leon did have a smoking problem, which we knew was going to be the turbo, or roughly turbo related. And as you can see, the oil seals inside the turbo have obviously gone, and therefore that's why we're producing a lot of smoke. So we got the engine mounts in, all prepared in the last video. We got the clutch cables all set up ready for when we get the new gearbox in.
Now this is going to be a VW Caddy FR. And I want to take as much as possible from the Leon and put it inside the Caddy. And I tell you what, the more I'm doing that, the more I'm really enjoying and looking forward to driving this Caddy again. So enough of this nonsense. Let's just get cracking and get this engine fit. And guess who's had a delivery this morning? Yes, you guessed it, the turbo has now arrived. Now this is the old turbo, and I'm just about to unbox the new turbo, and let's do it together, because actually, do you know what, for eBay it's really packed really well, so I hope the bloody thing works. And here is the second-hand brand new turbo off eBay. Now let's get it laid out. So here it is, the second-hand Seat Leon CR170 turbo. Now I want to get this straight on, guys. I do not want to mess around, because I want to get that engine in there today, and I want to get it at least ready to be wired up. Clutch cables are in, drive shafts are sat there waiting, they can be put in next. I'm not too fussed about that. I'm going to take the wheels off both sides. I'm going to drop both of them bottom arms out just to give me a little bit of play on the drive shafts, and then I think I'm ready to get this in. Now you can see all the oil residue off the old turbo, and that still remains, it's still in there, and we're talking a good week, 2 weeks after. This one's obviously been sat for a while. It is second hand, so it's not going to be perfect, but the blades are running free. But again, there's no oil residue, just a little bit around the edge, but that's absolutely fine. So what I need to do, it looks like, is get the nut off the old one transferred across to here to stop this being flexing on this pipe here, and then I believe I need to take this sensor off the old one and get that put onto the new one. So let's get that done first of all. Let's get cracking, let's not mess around, let's get to it. Now sometimes I'm not exactly sure what these do, but it's an exhaust temperature of some form. Ow, sorry, that's red hot. Just to warm it up with a bit of heat. Still, I don't know what it does though. I don't know what its purpose is. But it's on the turbo. It's monitoring something, isn't it? So I don't know what its purpose is, like I say. So I'm just, again, I have to do a little bit of research just to understand exactly what this part is. And yeah, it's fairly straightforward. I mean, this one looks in better condition than the one that's on there, but again, all I've done is just give it a little heat up with a little bit of WD-40, and that's just to get the nut moving and cracked off. And then I'm just simply taking this piece out here, which I'm going to swap over with the one that was on the original engine. from here.
So what we're doing is just fitting up the turbo to the engine block. Now, I was going to replace the gasket, but it looked fairly new, so I thought I'd give it a chance, and worst case scenario, to take the engine out, it's only about an hour and a half, if not less than that, to pull the engine out if I need to. So fairly straightforward, and I think I could probably get the turbo out on its own if I ever needed to. Again, quite confident with that now. So all I'm doing is putting the nuts on there, just getting them all across the turbo, across the back of the manifold, and then what I'm doing is going to tighten them all up with a electronic ratchet, and then I'm going to hand tighten them up just to make sure they're all nice and tight. Not over tightening.
Guys, welcome back to the channel, and all I can say is the turbo has arrived. Now do me a massive favour and smash that subscribe button, hit like and drop me a comment, because guys, I need to know you're still watching the Caddy FR series. Now today's plan is that engine is going in. Now whether it'll turn on, I have no idea, probably not, but I'd like to get it in, wired up, and then I've got to do the wiring modifications after that. So before I even get it into the Caddy, I'm going to cut the looms open on the Caddy, so I've got that, and I may even take both the wiring looms out, put them on the floor and try and get them wired in before I put it back in and get the engine in. But this is the turbo that needed to come. Now this was a 2 litre CR170 Seat Leon turbo, and I got this off eBay for about 75-80 quid, quite cheap to be honest. So very happy with the price of the turbo, and obviously looking at this, if I had a lot more knowledge, which some of you guys do, so drop me a comment, because I'm not afraid to say that I don't know everything, because I don't. You know, I am winging the majority of it, and it's mechanical, so it's one part out, one part in. Obviously we're rebuilding crash damaged cars. The Audi A4 series is pretty much complete. I've got a video coming soon. But now what I have seen is a lot of people talk about EGR deletes, EGR cooler, getting it remapped. These are the bits that I don't really understand at the minute. So obviously I've got an EGR cooler here. On the 1.6 that wasn't present, so I don't know if that's going to cause me any issues, but I've seen a lot of people put a pipe from here. Now I know you're not meant to do it guys, but let's be honest, let's be realistic here, right? Everybody does it. For me, all I keep thinking is I need a straight pipe from here for the coolant, and then I could bypass the EGR. I could put the blanking plates. Now on the Caddy, it did have blanking plates. It had blanking plate at the top side of the engine up there, so it was more other side EGR, and I'm pretty sure it had a cooler delete as well. I need to double check that. In fact it does. It's got the pipe on there already, so maybe I can use the pipe off the Caddy. I don't know what to do, so I'm gonna need your help on this guy, because while the engine is out, now is the best time to do all the maintenance. Now I want to be really clear here, it is not the end of the world if I have to pull the engine back out. It's not the end of the world. As long as it starts, runs, drives, that's the most important thing for me. I don't mind pulling the engine back out again. This is a project car, project van, and we want to make it perfect. So turbo's getting fitted now. All I'm going to do is 13mm nuts, just going to tighten all of them up. I am going to, because the Leon did run perfect, it just had some smoke, I am going to put this EGR back on for now. Guys, let me know in the comments if you think that's a bad decision, and if you think I should get rid of it, then please do let me know. Again, we're in this together. I say that because if this doesn't work, I'll be deeply disappointed. So enough of my waffling on, let's get this turbo fitted, and then let's try, and I mean try, I think it's time for them to marry up and become the Caddy FR. All you lads who've got ramps, remember, it means maybe you're small in certain departments. Me, I must be massive. Well, that's what I tell myself anyway. Right, enough sexual innuendo. Enough sexual innuendo. Enough sexual innuendo. Enough sexual innuendos. Let's get cracking. Go on, engine. I mean, who would have thought 6 months ago, guys, I'd be pulling an engine out? I mean, honestly, if you think you can't do it, have a go. Now, I've not done it yet. All I've done is took out. And just like that, she is out. So next thing we need to get done is the exhaust is a custom exhaust on the back of this Caddy. What I need to do is put the DPF back on the back and get the exhaust clamp on, or the DPF clamped onto the back of the turbo just here. So, excuse the mess, I did throw the Caddy one in the bin and I think I needed it. So what I'm going to do is just cut this down all the way around and just try and make it so I can cut it off, and then that should slot straight into the back of the existing one inside the Caddy. Now I hope I'm doing that right, but I honestly don't know yet. So let's get this razzled
so all we're
off.
going to do is get a grinder out and just cut this flexi pipe off. I've already got a flexi pipe on. I did leave the lip on though, I probably should have took that off. So I will get underneath and grind that lip off just so I can get it straight in. Then we need to put the DPF onto the engine. Now it's fairly straightforward. I'm just putting the stud back in because the stud did come out instead of the actual nut. So just tighten them two up and then that's the DPF back on. Then we move on to the ECU. Now I'm taking the Leon ECU, so I've got to pull out the Caddy ECU. Now luckily enough, this had an engine swap previously, so it's fairly straightforward and it pulls out nice and easy on the bracket. Now I am going to reuse the bracket, and that bracket's going to be housing the Leon ECU. But again, 2 tabs on there, and all you need to do is unplug the wires, and that is the Caddy one out.
And that's one ECU out.
And then repeat your steps. All I'm doing is just getting it temporary fitted up. I want to start the engine. I want the engine to be running and moving before I can start sorting the mounts out, tidying wiring up, as you guys know, we've replaced engines before.
This is it. The moment of truth. I've got the pipes on. I haven't wired anything yet, but I know I can do that once the engine's in. I think this is going to be somewhat of the moment. I still need an exhaust clamp. I haven't got one. I can't find it. Don't think it'll stop me firing her up, if I'm honest with you. Let's get her in.
Now for those lads who've done this before, you'll know that these engine cranes, especially in your driveway, are an absolute dream. They are the perfect tool. Now I wasn't confident at first, so I called in for a second pair of hands, but once I've moved it around a couple of times and up and down and managed the engine crane, it was fairly straightforward. So all I'm doing here is just trying to put it in on a slight angle. Now I know that because I came out on that angle and I want to put it back in. So lowering it down, just moving it forward, up and down, back and forward ever so slightly. I am getting a little bit of jip off the exhaust at the back where I didn't quite cut that DPF to exhaust piece properly. So, but I'm managing to push the exhaust back ever so slightly so I can get her in. Now all I'm trying to do is get the bolts in. Now I've watched a couple of lads replace the engines and I've seen them just get it lined up, get some bolts in, be confident with it, but don't use your big dugga gun. Just take your time, slowly get them in, and that's the best way to do it. So, and I didn't feel confident at first starting this or trying this. I felt like I was a little bit out of my depth when I was starting, but once I got the first engine out and then the second engine out, was actually fairly straightforward, so really happy with the way that things are working here. And all I'm trying to do is move the engine over just to get it, so I can get them bolts in and get them tightened up by hand. So far, so good, and I'm really happy with the way the engine's sitting now.
And that is what we would call a wrap. Now I'm just going to put this in ever so slightly. I'm going to push it over. Let me get down there. Shouldn't really stand under an engine crane while you do this, but it's pretty much there or thereabouts. So all I'm doing is just getting them nice and somewhat tight, and then I'll get this side somewhat tight as well. No, they're not in. Oh, they're not in properly. The engine now can be lowered down ever so slightly, like so. Lovely jubbly. Lovely jubbly. Right, you can get that tightened up on all of them sides. Get that like so. That somewhat tightened up. That one done, and then we can get this side all tightened up as well, and that should be our engine in. That should be fully in, fully in. So let's let this jack down. Mount in there, mount in there. Mountain, mountain, in. the moment of truth. Right, that tyre. Got that dog bone mount underneath. Whoa, there she is. Frightens the life out of me, that thing. Frightens the life out of me. Frightens the life out of me. Right. I thought that engine was on my tooth. Right, where's that dog bone mount bolt? So we've got one last bolt to get in, just to stop her rocking, because she's a wee bit rocky, like Rocky Balboa. I didn't really want to lay under the engine crane, to be honest with you, but I'm going to have to, because I need to get this bolt in, just in case anything snapped while I was under there. Health and safety and all that. Shall we see if we can let it down? So that to me, guys, is an achievement. And there she is, the 2 litre TDI is in. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. That's the hardest part done. The move. Oh my God, honestly, that is. Can you still see me? I hope you can. You probably can't. That is the hardest part out of the way. Let's just take a second. Come on! Honestly, that feels so good to hit that milestone. Honestly, I am so chuffed with getting that 2 litre TDI engine in. And I could have had it in and out in a day if I'd have had the turbo. So yeah, I'm really chuffed. I brought all the wiring loom from the 2 litre to go, because I just thought I might as well just reuse that and plug directly into the ECU, because it's the existing ECU. And I just need to take a couple of little bits now off the wiring. I'm going to start getting things plugged in and get it all plugged up. I've got a problem at the minute, which is I haven't got a clamp for the exhaust to the DPF. I haven't got that yet. I need to get one. I can't find, well, sorry, I have found one, but I can't seem to get the nut out of it, so that's just not going to happen. I'm going to get the clutch cables set up in here, get them in, and just get the majority of wiring plugged back in, so we're almost ready to rumble. Now, I know it won't start without the pieces being done, the wiring that I need to do, so that's my main focus. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to go over to the Leon. I'm going to take the parts that I need to take off, and then I'm going to cut back the wiring loom from the Caddy, which is on, not this biggest side one, but the other wiring loom. Yeah, and this is the bit where I'll probably get a little bit stuck, if I'm honest with you. Putting it back together, I don't think it's going to be hard. I'll be able to find the plugs once I get the majority plugged in. I don't think it's going to be an issue. I have got a problem with the pipes down the back here that go in, so I need to get some bigger pipes, but again, I can do that while the engine's in, as long as I keep the airbox out, not a problem. So I'm going to start plugging things up. I did accidentally snap a wire, not great at all here, so I cut it flush and I snapped it here, so I'm going to have to re-terminate them wires, which go basically there. Not great, I know, but one wire out the whole loom is not too bad.
And I'm hoping in the next episode I can get this van started, or at least finally started, once I've finished the wiring off. But I just want to say a massive thank you to all the continued support and all the continued subscribers, because without you guys we wouldn't be doing this. And there we have the 2 litre engine in the Caddy. Bye for now.